Words of Sri Aurobindo from the book The Mother, Part 2, Letters on the Mother by Our Lord, Chapter 8, Sadhana through Work for the Mother, page 207. Sri Aurobindo says, the truth for you is to feel the divine in you. Open to the Mother and work for the divine till you are aware of her in all your activities. There must be the consciousness of the divine presence in your heart and the divine guidance in your acts. This the psychic being can easily, swiftly, deeply feel if it is fully awake. Once the psychic has felt it, it can spread to the mental and vital also. Sri Aurobindo continues to say, demands should not be made. What you receive freely from the Mother helps you. What you demand or try to impose on her is bound to be empty of her force. The Mother deals with each person differently according to his true need, not what he himself fancies to be his need, and his progress in the sadhana and his nature. For you, the most effective way to get the strength you need should be to do the work consciously and scrupulously, allowing nothing to interfere with its exact discharge. If you did that, opening yourself at the same time to the Mother in your work, you would receive more constantly the grace and would come to feel her power doing the work through you. You would thus be able to live constantly with the sense of her presence. If, on the contrary, you allow your fancies or desires to interfere with your grace and give room for sorrow and uneasiness and other foreign forces to enter into you. Yoga through work is the easiest and the most effective way to enter into the stream of this sadhana. Date 8th March 1913. Even the most purely physical and mechanical work can be properly done if one accepts incapacity, inertia, and passivity. The remedy is not to confine yourself to mechanical work, but to reject and throw off incapacity, passivity, and inertia, and open yourself to the Mother's force. If vanity, ambition, self conceit stand in your way, cast them from you. You will not get rid of these things by merely waiting for them to disappear. If you merely wait for things to happen, there is no reason why they should happen at all. If it is incapacity and weakness that oppose, still as one opens oneself truly and more to the Mother's force, the strength and capacity necessary for the work will be given and will grow in the Adhara. The advantage of being in the true consciousness is that you have the right awareness and its will being in harmony with the Mother's will. You can call in the Mother's force to make the change. Those who live in the mind and the vital are not so well able to do this. They are obliged to use mostly their personal effort, and as the awareness and will and force of the mind and vital are divided and imperfect, the work done is imperfect and not definitive. It is only in the supermind that awareness, will, force are always one moment and automatically effective. Question: I am always in touch with the mother during work. Not only do I remember her, but the contact with her remains during the work. Her force constantly flows into the adhara, and the work is done automatically, but swiftly, perfectly, unhesitatingly, without personal anxieties and responsibilities. Instead, there is confidence, sureness, strength, calmness. I feel that if I can do work in this attitude, it will be perfect, flawless, the work of the mother's child, not of an egoistic man. Kindly let me know if I am correct. For this, Sri Aurobindo responds, yes, it is a very good progress and the first step towards the right use of the bar for action. Next question. I have read both in The Synthesis of Yoga and The Mother's Conversations that every act and moment, thought and word should be an offering. Even if this is strictly mental effort without the heart's devotion, as it may be at first, it is sure to lead to devotion provided the effort is sincere. This discipline is quite possible in acts of a more or less mechanical nature, like walking or eating. But where the work involves mental concentration, as in a reading or writing, it seems well nigh impossible. If the consciousness has to be busy with the remembrance, the attention will be divided and the work will not be properly done. For this, Sri Aurobindo says, it is because people live in the surface mind and are identified with it. When one lives more inwardly, it is only the surface consciousness that is occupied, and one stands behind it in another, which is silent and self offered. Next question. Does this consciousness come only by aspiration, or can one have it by following a mental discipline? Sri Aurobindo says, one starts by a mental effort. Afterwards, it is an inner consciousness that is formed, which need not be always thinking of the mother. Next question. There are two ways of making an offering to the mother. One is to offer an act at her feet, as one might offer a flower. The other is to withdraw one's personality altogether and to feel as if she is doing all the actions which one performs. In the first way, there is a duality between the worker and her, but in the second, there is a close intimacy and union. Which of these two ways is better for the sadhana? For this, Sri Aurobindo answers, there is no need to ask which is better, as they are not mutually exclusive. It is the mind that regards them as opposites. The psychic being can offer the act while the nature is passive to the force. The ego being expunged or having withdrawn and feels the mother's force during the act and her presence in it. Date 5th November 1938. Question. When one works, one aspires for the mother's force to take up one's activity in due course. What should one aspire for when one is not working? For this, Sri Aurobindo says, for the mother's power to work and bring down by the proper stages the higher consciousness. Also, for the system to be more and more fit, quiet, egoless, surrendered.